Hey, so in today's video, I'm going to show how you can create a editable data set that actually writes back to your source system. So in this case, what I'm going to show is the new editable linked table in Domo and how once you add a comment in this column, it'll actually go back and update your Salesforce. So in this case, just to show you, I wrote a comment in here that said demo on Thursday for this account. And then what's happened is the Domo has updated the description field in Salesforce with what I put in Domo. And so just to show how this works, I'm just going to go here again and say, follow up on Friday. And then if I copy this account ID, just to show you, I'm going to come over here to my Salesforce instance and show you that right now it is showing this. But then if I wait just a couple seconds, it'll update with this, what I just put there. Okay, so then if I refresh this page, I'm just going to refresh it. And now we have follow up on Friday, right? So in that case, it worked properly. So I'm going to walk through how I accomplished this. The first thing I did was I created a linked table. This can be done in App Studio. So if I come here to edit, I'm just going to drag out a new linked table and choose that I want to link it to an existing data set. So in this case, I have an accounts data set that I'll use, my SFDC accounts. So I'll select that, and then I'll select the unique column. With Salesforce, this is really nice because it's just going to be the ID column. So that'll be the unique identifier. And then I can select the viewable columns. This is what will actually show up in the table. So in this case, let's go with name, let's go with description, and let's go, annual revenue, just as an example. And then I'll click save. And that will create a linked table. And so what it's doing here is it's creating a data set, and then it's also creating a data set view that is linked to the existing data set. So once this loads, it'll show that you're able to add columns. So in this case, you can add different columns to it, different column types. You can rename a column, right? So in this case, if I said, hey, if I want to call this a comments column, and I wanted to add a date column, I can come in here, and those will add the columns to the data set. And then this takes a second, but usually I like to wait here to make sure that it saves. Right now it's updating the view in the background, so we'll just give it a second. So now that it's done saving, I'm just going to save and close this and then show you what's going on in the background. So now if I come back to my data sets, I can see first it created this new editable data set, and then it linked it to a data set view of my Salesforce accounts. So in this case, right, showing in real time how this works, let's come back here and let me go back to my app. And let's add, a test comment. That'll get added. And then if I come back to here, it should get added. So in this case, it's connecting. So in this case, it's adding that to this data set, and then therefore linking it up to this view. And then if we come in here, we can actually see the updated comment. Sometimes it just takes a second. Awesome. Now we have a test comment. So that's how linked editable tables work. In this case, what I did to actually get it back into Salesforce is I just created a pretty quick magic ETL where I'm checking to see if a user input something. So in this case, I just used it like a filter rows and saying, hey, I only want to look at the rows where this comment is not null. And then from there, I actually used the write back tile in Salesforce, right? So in this case, there's a write back tile. If you give it a name, then you can configure it. And in this case, we would just be writing back to our Salesforce instance, and we'll just be using the update function. And so I have a couple videos about write back tiles. I'll link that in here. But that is how pretty quickly we created a utility that lets you take Domo, lets you use an App Studio app to write back to your source system. So hope you found this helpful. Thanks.